as far as women are concerned, the government has special schemes
Yeah.
to provide funding, to provide mentorship, to provide incubation for women-related startups. Even in the finance niche, there is a whole lot of aspects which you can explore
Correct.
and research and put out the content in a very simplified manner. So that 3 tax saving hacks. First thing, do tax harvesting for your long-term financial assets.
When passion, persistence, and perseverance converge, extraordinary achievements are within reach. And this week on Beyond Her Story meets CA Pratiksha Pai, a chartered accountant and a dynamic figure in the finance and startup sector. With over a decade of experience, Pratiksha has excelled in diverse roles ranging from international tax and transfer pricing to various types of audits and tax litigations. After a significant stint at Ernst Young, she now runs her successful practice in Bangalore and actively engages in mentoring startups as its strategic advisor at the Atal Incubation Center at NITTE. Pratiksha also shares her expertise through her social media channels, the Fintelligent Investor and Gyanathon Learning Solutions, where she delivers well-researched tips in finance, taxes, and effective study techniques. As author and a sought-after speaker, she has contributed to various platforms promoting financial literacy and women empowerment. And it's not just that, she's also the director at Saraswat Chambers. Today, let us explore the multifaceted journey of a woman who blends knowledge, leadership, and mentorship to inspire and uplift others in the financial world.
So Pratiksha, welcome to Beyond Her Story on Wonder Woman Wednesday. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me here, Sneha. And thank you for qualifying me to be a Wonder Woman. It feels really good. And I always tell my women friends and, female friends, female acquaintances are always my biggest supporters and biggest motivators. So yes, thank you.
Yeah. I think finally we got to have this interview after such a long time of discussion.
Absolutely, the planets aligned for us, the stars aligned for us. So otherwise, there were some or the other commitments coming up.
Yeah. So I had a look at your profile and I must say I was awed with the kind of things that you're doing, so many things and doing so well. So we'll start with the beginning of your journey. You were working at Ernst Young and now you have your own practice. So how did that happen and what made you take that decision?
I joined Ernst Young on my 22nd birthday.
Wow.
Okay. I just cleared CA when I was 21 years and 11 months. And in a month, I got placed at EY. And I started my career at the age of 22. And of course, like any other youngster, on being placed, you are enthusiastic and excited.
Yeah.
Okay. But very soon, I realized that for a person who is creative and innovative and wants to have a voice, employment can be very stifling, because it sort of, you have to work within a cage of a boundary.
Right.
And it really clips your wings. And that somewhere was leading to a frustration, because to each their own. Some may love employment and love that space and find it to be comfortable, but I was feeling it to be very suffocating. And because I wanted to have an amplified voice, and I had my own creativities, I wanted to have my own innovations. So but so even though through that frustrating journey it was okay, because sometimes even in the reports, the wordings that you put also should be something what the senior approves, because you cannot have some sort of a creativity. And it's understandable, it's of course a finance domain, not a reporting or an article. So definitely, but that was not meant for me is what I realized. And fortunately, along that journey, I had started in 2013. In 2015, we had the marriage alliance of Sanket, my husband, who is also a chartered accountant. He's a CA and a CPA. And again, that felt like the planets aligned for us. And it was a no-brainer. I didn't take too much time to jump into his practice with him as a partner and quit out of employment, because a practice as such provides you much more space to experiment, to put out your creativity, your innovation, and have your own sort of a different world.
Yeah.
Of course, within the boundaries of that profession, like, there are some sort of ethical boundaries as well. Within those ethical boundaries, definitely it was a much bigger space to breathe.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is why I joined Sanket in his CA practice. And of course, whatever the rich experience I had in my employment helped to create more new verticals also in our practice, because I was more into litigation at the time of my employment.
Okay.
And in Sanket's practice, he's more into the bank funding and debt funding for businesses and audits and taxes. And we ended up having this new vertical of litigation as well, wherein now we go to courts for tax cases.
Okay.
And that was where there was a lot of playing around. And again, as you said, I'm into the startup ecosystem.
Correct.
Also now. That happened as a consequence.
Okay.
Like when I was in employment where I'm concerned with only international taxation and transfer pricing, I need to look only at that aspect.
Correct.
But in practice, when startup companies came to us for various professional matters like audits, tax filings, they used to also ask us, can you look at my pitch deck?
Yeah.
And from a professional point of view, do you want any sort of changes in that? Or can you tell us how can we pitch before the investors within that 8-minute window, which is the standard window provided for them?
Correct.
And, getting into all this, the startups felt it was useful and they got in more startups. And somehow, as a consequence, this whole new vertical began, wherein I am also a startup strategist now.
Yeah, that's really a very amazing journey, I must say.
Thank you.
And like you said, when you're creative, you want to explore more things, and that is
Right.
what gives you that independence as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. When you're creative, it is very frustrating to be confined to a
Correct.
space.
Yeah.
And I also tell that, see, one of the raging issues in our nation is of unemployment.
Correct.
And it is high time we move out of this and, focus more on entrepreneurship.
Correct.
Because an entrepreneur may start at a very small level. Even though he goes up a few notches, he will or she will employ someone else.
Right.
So we have to, more than tackling unemployment, every country has that issue.
Correct.
But I tell that in today's day and time, if you have a bit of creativity, and even if you don't have creativity, artificial intelligence will fix that for you.
Yeah.
So if you have a smartphone with an internet, which everyone has,
Correct.
then definitely you can become an entrepreneur. Or the newer terms for this are solopreneur, micropreneur. So
Yeah.
all types, because the goal nowadays for people actually is not to become billionaires,
Yeah.
but to sit at home, be by yourself, be your own boss,
Correct.
and at least earn what you would have otherwise earned as a salary.
Very true.
Because you will be the boss of your own timing.
Yeah.
You will be the boss of your own work style, work type, working nature,
Yeah.
everything. If you are a nocturnal person, you can sit at night and work.
Correct.
So all these sort of flexibilities are available nowadays.
Yeah.
And that is where a person with some creativity, when we know that these flexibilities are there,
Yeah.
and we have that creativity, we would never like to be in an employment.
Yeah.
And somewhere that would help the nation also as a whole, which is why I say to youngsters also that if you have some capabilities, some creativities, and some confidence, go out on your own.
Yeah. Very true. I think that's excellent advice, and more youngsters should listen to this.
Yes.
Now let's come to your second part of it. I mean, like I said, there are many aspects to you and your channel, the Fintelligent Investor. You're really doing a lot by contributing and talking about the tips, the tricks, and a lot of other things about budget and everything. So how did that come about?
Much before the reels and the shorts were a trend.
Yeah.
I had this idea. I told Sanket, because one day we were in a gym and side by side we were on treadmills, and I suddenly told him, why don't we do small videos? And I used to call it as bites.
Okay.
Why don't we do bites on some financial content and propagate it, and just send it on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So this had been at the back of my head. But then COVID happened, and I conceived at the same time. And, my pregnancy was not how they show glamorous pregnancies on TV. And it was, at least the first trimester was very tough, and all these aspirations and ambitions were put to the side. Okay. Because there was absolutely no, capability or strength to do anything at that point in time. So finally, in the year 2021, 2022, I came back on track, and I said that we need to do something. And being a chartered accountant, of course, the niche I wanted to do was finance, finance, banking, insurance, stock markets, taxes. All these aspects, because even in the finance niche, there is a whole lot of aspects which you can explore and research and put out the content in a very simplified manner. So that is what even I wanted to do. And also, why specifically about investments is because, I come from a very small percentage of families in India who are legacy share owners, which means my grandfather had purchased some shares which my father has inherited. These shares are purchased even before my father was born. Like blue chip shares which are now performing really well. So, and an entire portfolio, of course. So, and another few years, if I inherited these from my father, and if I hold it long enough to give it to my daughter, these shares will be around 100 years old. Okay. So I come from a family where the inheritances are mostly in shares, and not just shares which my grandfather would have very recently purchased, but shares which were purchased even before my father was born. Okay. And my grandfather had that foresight to be involved in the mainstream economy through the way of equity investing. And of course, he has passed all that to us as well. And that is where I felt that this should be my niche. And secondly, when I want a niche, I could have gone for blogging, I could have gone for articles or whatever. Why specifically the visual content is because I am a speaker right from a very young age. I think the first public speech I had put out was at the age of 5. So I had that capability somewhere. I was also very comfortable on camera. And also my mother's side of the family is a family of good speakers. So, I think
came naturally to you.
The marriage of speaker and investing happened, and that's why I thought that, okay, let me put out visual content. And as I said, that urge to put out something creative and all that really matched for me, and which is why I came into this. But I always have one thing that I want, the names to be something creative as well.
That I can definitely see. The Fintelligent Investor, finance and intelligent.
So I was always pestering Sanket, because I've also written 2 books wherein the name is again interesting. To tell you, it just came as a snap. Okay, why can't we do it as the Fintelligent Investor? And everyone in the initial days used to be so confused. Is it intelligent investor? I'm like, no, it's Fintelligent Investor. So, and when I come up with such names, which look weird in the beginning, and people might, find it funny at the beginning, but I don't mind announcing that this is my channel, Fintelligent and all that. And by now, people have accepted it, internalized it, and now it's no more funny or weird to anyone. It's creative now.
Very true.
In the same manner, I have also written 2 ebooks on finance content, wherein one page in a chart manner, like we complete one topic in one page.
Oh.
This 1 minute content, what I put out,
Mm-hmm.
I try to put it out in a chart format.
Okay.
So that people understand it better. And because it is those 1 minute, each page, you will not even require 1 minute to read and understand.
Okay.
The name of that book is A Minute to Fin It.
Oh, wow.
So
Again,
you take
creative. Yeah.
a minute to finish a topic. So
Yeah.
a minute to fin it.
Wow.
And fin becomes finish also. And fin
finance.
Finance, yes.
Yeah.
So I like those names,
Yeah.
I come up with something very unnecessarily creative sometimes, but then it all works
Yeah.
out.
That's what makes it more fun, I guess.
Yes, and that's what the name of my other channel, Gyanathon.
Yeah, that's what Gyanathon.
So I wanted to have a mixture of a Sanskrit word
Okay.
with some sort of English suffix, which means a never-ending learning.
Marathon.
Yeah. So a marathon is almost never ending. So, Gyanathon, which means never ending source of knowledge.
Yeah. So what is that channel about?
That is about, education, basically commerce education for class 11 and class 12. And I had started this entire journey from Gyanathon.
Okay.
Actually, it was started in 2019. But, the problem with chartered accountants or those who are more into finance most of the times is that we are technologically handicapped.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, we don't know. I started Gyanathon and I didn't know how to shoot. I didn't know what to do and all that. It took a lot of time. And I think somewhere, the classic Indian adamance of not taking help. Okay, trying to figuring out
everything yourself.
Yeah. That took a lot of time. I think I've matured a lot from that stage now. And I would like to take help at every scenario where I feel that something is not my strength. And will just waste my time. I would like to delegate that to someone else who may have that same thing as a strength.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Gyanathon, when we started, in the course of creating that, it's basically I want to put out class 11 and class 12 business studies and account subjects in a very simplified manner.
Okay.
Because I feel that you need not study hard. You should be studying smart. And, when we, come across instances like, at the age of 10th standard, they had to leave all their other co-curricular activities because, people are so good at singing, dancing, games, whatever co-curricular, and everything goes down the drain.
Yeah, correct.
So what I want to put out is that you should go through all that also and do some smart study over here.
Correct. Absolutely.
So I put all this content out in the form of mind maps, color-coded mind maps, so that students find it easy. And nobody has to be studying hard, study 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, whatever that is. That need not be done at all. And in that process also, I ended up writing a book.
One more book.
Yeah, wherein in 40 pages, we have completed the entire syllabus of class 12 accountancy.
Wow.
It is called Pratiksha's Quick Revisioner. That's the only sane name I have in my basket.
Yeah, direct.
Yeah. So yes, but that is how I am. In fact, my friends used to tease me that you only read the summary and come, because I like to do everything in a simplified and shortened manner.
Yeah.
So yes, coming back to your question, this is how, when the Gyanathon started and then it had to be stopped because of the COVID and my pregnancy and all that. And then when we restarted, I said, I want to go with short form content first.
Yeah. Okay.
Till I get more used to it.
Yeah.
And that's how the Fintelligent Investor started. And now the Fintelligent Investor has taken up a better pace.
Yeah.
And Gyanathon is yet to be relaunched. And there also, as I said, now I have a team. I take some help from people around, and we are going to launch it very soon.
Wow. I think the way you put it across, Pratiksha, it makes me wonder now what is the next thing that I need to do. Because like I noticed from our conversation that you are focusing on your strengths and you are an expert in finance, and which is what you want to share. And it's like another good thing which I find in what you do is you are sharing what you know, like knowledge sharing. Right. Which actually helps, and you want to make the kids, smart learners, which is a very good thing. Like you said, they are totally pressurized into
Yes.
studying for so many
Yes.
hours, and that's absolutely an amazing
Absolutely.
thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now let us talk about your one more strength, taxation and finance. So as per you, what are the common misconceptions that people have about this topic?
One of the major misconceptions till today is that people don't understand the importance of filing a tax return. Okay. There have been many cases where people have an income and yet not file tax return, maybe lack of awareness, ignorance, or maybe just not the
Negligence.
right level of seriousness.
Yeah.
Okay, because they don't know the consequences of this. And let me tell you, nowadays, especially, the authorities have all the information.
Yeah.
Okay. Your bank deposits are linked to your PAN.
Correct.
Your TDS, TCS transactions are highlighted in your PAN. Your property transactions, equity transactions, mutual fund transactions, any investments, basically, everything is linked to your PAN.
Yeah.
So even if you feel that, oh, if I file my tax return, this is the fear that some people have, that if I file my tax returns, the government will maybe catch me for something else. And
Yeah.
anyways, the authorities know everything about you.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So, now if you don't file your tax returns, then you will be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because somehow the lead will get back to you. And so that is, I think, the biggest and most common misconception.
Yeah.
People feel afraid to file tax returns.
Yeah.
For God knows what reason. But the reality is that you will be on the better side of compliance and the better side of law if you're filing your tax returns.
Yeah.
So I would like to tell all your viewers also that please file your tax returns, because not only do the authorities have all the information about you, but even for many other things, like tomorrow you want to get a bank loan,
Yeah.
you are visiting a foreign country, you want to get a visa. For many of these, your tax returns are the basic requirement.
Yeah.
And if you're in your own business, suppose, see, you're in your own business and you earned 1 crore rupees. How will you legitimize that money? You have to tell the government that I earned it. How will you tell it? Through a tax return.
Correct.
You can't call up the tax officer and say, right, I earned this much.
Yeah.
It is all through a tax return. It is a communication to the authorities about the income that you have earned and basically legitimizing that income.
Correct.
Because if you have an income and you're not filing a tax return, that means you have black money.
Yeah. True. Even though your intentions may not be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think a very, very simple thing. Everyone, no matter what, please file your tax returns, even if your income is less than 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs is where the tax starts.
Correct.
Even if it is zero taxes, put it out. And, that is a good way of communicating to the authorities that this is my income.
So you mentioned briefly that you're very much involved in the startup sector. And I mean, I know about it. So as a mentor, what is that key advice that you give to people for financial management and strategic planning?
I think for the startups right now, the key thing to understand is that fast growth is not always everlasting growth.
Yeah.
A slow success is more everlasting because you have more time to make mistakes, learn, get those experiences and go forward. Because we have seen classic cases where, we have seen companies becoming unicorns and decacorns, and now they're even slipped from the unicorn status.
Correct. Yeah.
So not one or two, there are many instances. Yeah. Some get amplified in the media, some don't.
Yeah.
And we have seen many startups wherein, they get great amount of funding, they have a good net worth, but suddenly they wind up.
Yeah.
And the founders will suddenly jump on to the next thing. Have patience. Yeah. And have faith in your idea. The entire reason why an investor also funds a startup is because they have faith in the founders more than the idea. Correct. And there are many instances where the founders get the funding and then sort of, wind up the startup. So please don't do that. And another thing, what I would also like to say is, especially startups, try to be bootstrapped, which means don't go for too much of an equity stake. I mean, giving out an equity stake and getting investor funds, because this is where, financial literacy also needs to be at a peak, because nowadays founders, as soon as they put up a startup, they want to have investors' money.
Correct.
Whereas, an equity stake, which you might say, if your startup is worth 10 crores today, and a 10% equity is for 1 crore.
Yeah.
So you give out 10% equity. Tomorrow, your startup might just zoom up, and the cost of that 10% might be 100 crores if your startup is a 1,000 crore startup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why do you want to give out equity? Rather, you can take loans from banks. The government is providing so much for startups nowadays.
Yeah.
And, the debt funding is always better than giving out an equity, is what I feel. Equity stake is, because, people, startup founders, when I interact with them, they say that, oh, the bank is giving it 11%, 12%, 13%. And I say, do you know the cost of giving out an equity stake? Okay. Better keep your equity with you.
Yeah.
Have a bootstrapped startup. And whenever you want funds, first try debt funding.
Okay.
First, try to get loans from banks. Government schemes are there for startups. There is all this right from Mudra loan up till CGSS, which is Credit Guarantee Scheme for Startups, wherein the government is hand-holding you. There are government incubators like the Atal Incubation Centers throughout the country.
Yeah.
So make use of that is what I would like to say in terms of startups. And always go for more of a long-term viability or long-term life of the startup, rather than going for huge valuations, which is just paper valuation.
Yeah.
There's nothing strong as a foundation for that.
Yeah. I think that's amazing advice. And lot of, since you brought this up, I must say that Wonder Woman Wednesday speaks to a lot of entrepreneurs. So women entrepreneurs in specific. So how do you think, like, women who are into, of course, women generally and women in entrepreneurship, what kind of financial literacy should they look at, which will help them in the long run?
Specifically, when we talk of women in entrepreneurship, again, the same thing. Protect your equity at all costs. And women, as far as women are concerned, the government has special schemes to provide funding, to provide mentorship, to provide incubation for women-related startups. And even in this budget, the finance minister told that one of the main focus of the government is on women. Okay, because see, when we are talking about becoming $5 trillion economy, third largest economy, then $10 trillion, we cannot neglect and ignore 50% of the population, which is women. One gender we can't ignore. So definitely more of a push is being given towards women employment, women entrepreneurship, etc. As far as financial literacy for women in general is concerned, I feel that, we are very blessed to be in this time wherein there is a lot of useful financial content out there on the internet, may it be YouTube or Google or even artificial intelligence platforms. You have any question, you just type in, you get the reply. And generally people are also aware that this is there. So generally nobody goes in with a half-baked knowledge. But at the same time, people have this tendency where your friend has invested in something, so you go invest in something. Don't do that. Friend or relative or someone, avoid that. And secondly, whatever knowledge you see on the internet, don't apply it blindly. So for example, let me put it this way. I might come on my channel and say that whatever you earn, 30% you first invest and then you spend the 70%. Don't take this as a concrete rule. What I would suggest your viewers who are watching is that go for personalized and customized advice, because your affordability might be different than what I say on my channel. Your financial conditions, family conditions, and all the obligations might be so different. Like if there is a couple newly married without a kid, they might be in a position to invest more. But they'll tell that, oh, they said 30%, 70%, let us just... So don't do that. And maybe there would be some other couple who has maybe growing children, and there are a lot more of family obligations, maybe parents-in-law, kids. So there they can customize it to be something different. So wherever health, financial, and legal requirements should be customized to oneself. Always take professional help. And because I think during COVID we had classic all sorts of kashaya, kada, everything was there, and every people were smelling like Ayurveda shops. So don't do that. Please always do your background research. That definitely you can utilize the internet to do. But when you're taking that step into any investment, any deposit, you have to have complete information from a proper professional, and that should suit your requirements, and then you should step into it.
I think that is one thing we often tell our viewers in different ways. Like when we speak to a nutritionist or someone else, we say always talk to an expert. That's one thing that people should do, because there's a lot of information and misinformation.
Absolutely. And people will feel that when someone tells that you talk to an expert or you talk to a professional, oh, they just want to have their consultation fees.
Correct.
That's not the case. Sometimes a mess created is more difficult to clean than going in at the first stage and not making a mess.
Very true. It saves you a lot of time and effort.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Pratiksha, now a lot of women are going for entrepreneurship, and there are a lot of them who actually go out and have a career, employment and things like that. But we still have homemakers, and they too want to be empowered financially. So is there anything that they can do to be financially independent through their hobbies or any other ways?
Again, we are, thanks to COVID, maybe, we are in times where anyone can work out of anywhere. Firstly, it was work from home. Now it is work out of anywhere. Okay, because we had this, taking a slight detour, we had this instance where my husband had a 2-day assignment with a client. And the client said that, why don't we go to Goa and work on the beach? I have a beach house, rather a resort on the beach. And your wife and my wife can, just chill out, and we both can sit on the beach and work. So, we've been through that as well. Wherein I enjoyed the entire day at the beach, and my husband and his client, they both were out on the, beach in that, those swimming pool chairs, and literally in shorts with their laptop working. Okay. So nowadays, everything is so flexible. Okay. If suppose I could not have come over here, we could have had a Zoom interview. So everything, I can sit over here and interview someone else staying in the United States. Whatever. So, given these flexibilities, definitely even the women who kind of stay back at home due to certain obligations, maybe kids, maybe parents, maybe health doesn't allow, maybe schedule doesn't allow. So there are so many reasons why, because nowadays nobody wants to be a homemaker as a choice. Everyone has ambitions, because we see the people around us having similar or, better ambitions. And it's not like, if I'm a finance content channel, it's not like I'm unreachable. I'm also a middle class person, same as all of us. We all meet at social gatherings, and then people also feel that, oh, I need to also do something like this, something similar. So when such an ambition is there and such a flexibility is there, I think anyone can start their business even with their hobbies from anywhere. Like, for example, it is very common in apartments in Bangalore where people bake cakes and sell. People do chapatis or curries or some specialty items and sell. You just need to order in advance. And there are so many other things wherein hobbies like songs. People have channels of songs. Forget channels. People do music classes at home.
Yeah, true.
Okay, people do dance classes at home, yoga classes at home. So this is one of everywhere such small businesses are mushrooming.
Correct.
And that is why there is not too much stress on the economy.
Yeah.
Because everyone is earning in their own capacity.
Yeah.
Other than that, there can also be online classes like teaching guitar online,
Yeah.
teaching yoga online.
Yeah.
And there is also scope for international level classes where I'd seen that a person sitting in the US is teaching a student in China for spoken English.
Yeah.
And they charge a bomb if it is one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And in this way, everyone is earning in a very easy manner nowadays, actually speaking.
Yeah.
People opt to work for 2 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's more than enough to cover all the required expenses, actually. So even a homemaker, everyone, I feel, has some or the other hobby, talent or capability, which can be monetized.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's the key word now, right? Monetization of your...
Yes. So everyone has something that can be monetized in some or the other level, in some or the other manner.
Yeah.
And that is for each one to sit back and understand and, decide. Like, for example, if I want to do a stock market course, I have to sit back and think, okay, should I have a physical seminar in Bangalore? Should I have a webinar? What am I comfortable with? Where can I give the best content out for the fee that I may charge?
Correct.
So everyone should sit back, think, and do their own, put out their own capabilities in a manner in which it can be monetized. Like, for example, people do daily vlogs.
Yeah, correct.
And, while I or you may feel that, what is the content in this? But you just look at it in this way. Everyone wants to know what's happening in someone else's house.
Yeah.
Daily vlogs are the Ekta Kapoor of nowadays.
Yeah, very
it's
true.
It's like a serial.
Yeah,
we want
to know.
We want to know what happened. And why is this very popular is because they're not showing some huge bungalow and what I mean. That
you can
was
relate
one
to.
era where fully decorated women and all that. But we see people like us, dressed like us, eating food like us, doing daily chores like us. So everyone wants to see what they're doing.
Yeah, very true.
And all this can get monetized. Literally everything nowadays can get monetized. You get something on Amazon, you do its opening and shoot it. That also is
monetized.
And you give a small feedback, that is also monetized. So I feel homemaker, the term of homemaker will also change.
Yeah.
Because nobody will be 100% homemaker.
Yeah.
Everyone will do something or the other which will be monetized, which will earn and add to the family income.
Yeah. I think, like you rightly said, the digitalization has allowed us to grow so much, and anybody can do anything right from the comfort of their home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So coming to this, the one question I have is, how has digitalization helped or changed chartered accountancy and financial management and these things?
So see, when I told you that many small businesses are mushrooming.
Correct.
Once they earn, the next step is they have to do their taxes and all those compliances.
Correct.
So even though the number of chartered accountants are increasing, but each chartered accountant is also having more cases, more clients.
Okay, correct.
Because everyone wants to get their taxes done, get their audits done.
Yeah.
So when your client base as a whole is expanding, definitely you need the help of a digital support.
Correct.
Okay, any digital platform. There are lots nowadays. And even the CA Institute is also tying up and getting out some digital-based platforms, because we can't sit and do in a ledger-based manual. When I was in articleship, I think those are the final years where, it was a mix of digital and manual.
Okay.
And I remember writing tax returns, and then going and filing them at the department. So, that was the crux time, I would say.
Okay, just transitioning.
Yes, because some we used to do on the software and some were manual, but the audit was entirely digital.
Yeah, okay.
I've never done audits with ledger books and all, but yes, I think when all the businesses are changing, the only options that professionals also have is to change.
Correct.
And definitely with more and more client base, you want the work to get done faster. And I don't think there is a single CA office which doesn't have any computer. Okay.
Very true.
So, and in our CA course also, computerized audit and IT is one paper. Okay. Which we have to clear.
Yeah.
And computerized audit and forensic account, computerized audit and forensic accounting and all this forensic audits are definitely on the basis of various digital platforms and digital support. Even when we go to bank audits, let me tell you this very interesting scenario. During the COVID time, we stay in Bangalore. Yeah. And we had got a bank audit. One branch was allotted to us somewhere in Andhra.
Okay.
And there was a student from Andhra. Because it was COVID, he had gone back home. And fortunately, that branch was somewhere near to his place. Okay. Just one student sat in the branch and the entire team did the audit from Bangalore. Wow. So everything was digitalized because even the banks are digitalized.
Correct, yeah.
And the entire, it's all about getting the data, which you can get in any manner possible, transfer of data. And you can conduct an audit sitting anywhere of a client sitting anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, that is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And that has also, of course, seeped into the CA world. And there are a lot of computerized audits, forensic audits, general audits, which we can do sitting anywhere for a client based out of anywhere else. Yeah. Now, again, over here, as I said, practice gives you a whole lot of scope to experiment and understand and learn.
Yeah.
And we don't have the boundary of the geographical boundaries as such.
Anyway.
We do NRI taxation.
Yeah.
The NRI need not really be in India for us to file their taxes on time.
Correct.
The exchange of information happens digitally. And on that basis, we do their taxes as well. So, I feel that even now it's no more called finance. It is called fintech. It is no more called agriculture. It is called agri-tech. Yeah. It is called med-tech. Yeah. It is called legal tech, biotech. Everything has the suffix of tech.
Correct.
We are
very
to upgrade every word now.
Yeah, I think that's very well put.
Yeah.
So Pratiksha, with all your experience, do you have some specific tips for women to take care of their financial investments?
First and foremost, especially when women are concerned, it is seen that, first of all, even if a woman is working, her investments are handled by her spouse.
Yes.
And she does not even know where the money is invested.
Correct.
First is awareness of your own investments.
Yeah, very true.
That is where, many women feel helpless in times of need. On a daily basis, they don't really understand the gravity of it.
Correct.
They say, my spouse is handling and all that. But in situations where there is a requirement, sometimes the women themselves don't know their the credentials to their bank account.
Yeah.
I think first awareness should be that.
Yeah.
Own investments.
Yeah.
And you should know what money is invested for what end goal.
Okay. Okay.
So, like for example, if your spouse has invested a money for, let's say, a foreign tour, and you go and take out that investment and buy a gold necklace.
Yeah.
Know the end goals of every investment made.
Yeah.
Point number 2, you should be aware of your spouse's investments.
Yeah.
That a large number of women will not know.
Correct.
There has been an incident where a spouse unfortunately met with an accident the couple has a lot of investments made, they have money, but the wife is not able to tap into those investments.
Yeah, correct.
Because first of all, she doesn't know what are her spouse's investments, and even if she knows, she doesn't have the credentials.
Yeah, correct.
So please know not only yours, but your spouse's investments as well. Thirdly, know the investments done by your older generation.
Okay, okay.
Because many a times when the older generations pass away, the younger generation don't even know that my parents have done investments in these avenues, and these remain as an unclaimed investment.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So know all about your family investments, own investments, spouse's investments.
Yeah.
Also, all your and your spouse's investment, make sure the nominations are there.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, it's not that you cannot access the investment as such, but it's a very difficult process.
Yeah.
Make it easier for yourself and your family.
Yeah.
So these are certain very basic things. Okay. And thirdly, women should start taking charge of their own investments.
Okay.
It's not like I earn and I tell my husband, I'll transfer this much to your account, you invest it somewhere.
Yeah, correct.
Learn to take charge of your own investments. Know what are your end goals, what are the best investment routes to reach that end goal,
Yeah.
and invest on your own.
Yeah.
So that is a few things wherein I feel culturally and socially we need to upgrade.
Yeah, very true.
Because it's not that, this was acceptable when women were at a back foot.
Yeah.
But now that you are coming out, the fact that women want to know about financial literacy itself, somewhere justifies my point that take charge of your own investments.
Yeah, I think COVID exposed a lot of these
Absolutely.
setbacks, right? Like
Absolutely.
which women had. Yeah.
Absolutely. And as I said, most of the Indian families, they have finances which are in a mess.
Yeah.
So see to it that you can have just one Excel sheet where you have credentials of various investment, wherein you can log in. You have the complete info, and if you don't want to even put it on an Excel sheet, you can have a separate email ID between you and your spouse.
Yeah.
Wherein because see, every investment that you make, you get an email nowadays.
Yeah, correct.
Forward all that email to a separate small email ID, which only you and your spouse have the password.
Yeah.
And maybe when you feel that your kids are mature enough to understand, give them the password.
Correct.
You don't have to sit and tell your kids that, oh, I have investment here, I have deposit here, I have insurance here, there. Just give them the password. They should do the research.
Yeah, correct. So their awareness also goes up.
Yes.
Okay, now we have covered almost all aspects. I am hoping that we have covered all aspects of what you do.
It's a never-ending topic. It is a marathon, a finathon.
Yeah, but I think there's one thing that we have to speak about. It is your contribution to education. So if you can talk a bit about that and things that you're doing for education.
Education, even when I was a student and even now, it is a concept. I mean, it is something very close to my heart. I want to make education simple.
Yeah.
That's my limited point.
Okay.
Okay. Because when a student reaches 10th standard, it's like the entire family is in a depression mode. Okay.
What next?
Yeah. So keep it simple. I don't know, maybe when my daughter reaches 10th, I might do the same thing. But, as of now, I think I want to make it simple, which is why I want to start Gyanathon. The background work is done. It's just that, the largest amount of confidence is to actually step in.
Yeah.
We all are very experts at doing background work. So I want to get into mind map based education.
Yeah.
And there are many novel ideas which I have, which I want to tap into, which have not yet taken a proper shape.
Okay.
But which is something that I want to tap into, given the newer forms of digital capabilities that are available.
Yeah.
And in this regard, in case of education, I have also written a book, as I said, The Quick Revisioner, wherein in just 40 pages, a student can completely understand the accountancy portion of class 12 in a mind map, color-coded mind map, so that it's easier for them. Even in Gyanathon, we have completed the accountancy course of class 12, which is like 13 hours. I myself was shocked. Something that can be told in a simplified manner in 13 hours. Why are we dragging it? Okay. Because, class 11 and class 12, why I chose class 11 and class 12 is because these are the foundation years for a whole lot of professional courses, especially in commerce field. And why these 2 years should be strong is because when we talk about the unemployment issues in our country, more than unemployment, it is the issue of, people being unemployable. They have the degree, they have the knowledge, but it's all theoretical. So when we want our next generation to be strong and employable, they need to have a strong foundation. And that is why I chose class 11 and class 12. Maybe, in sometime in September, we will start putting out videos where I'll be teaching business studies initially, because accounts, I think the syllabus is slightly changed. So I want to, redo that. That the problem is perfectionism. Wherein we want everything to be perfect. So somewhere in September, but the business studies will start coming out on YouTube. And in the field of finance, I feel the daily tips that I put, I think on Instagram, we have reached 495 pieces of content. 5 more to reach the 500 mark. And so, it is something that, again, I like to put in a very simplified manner without using big words. And in my apartment also, the ladies love it. They say that we are understanding all these things because of your videos. And I feel that is my small contribution. Because as I told you, there are so many things which so many people can put out in different styles of their own. Mine is also some sort of a style, and I do it.
So that's really nice, actually, especially helping youngsters figure out and how to make things easier for them. I think that's really a very nice thought behind the whole Gyanathon.
Thank you.
So Pratiksha, before we go, as a Finfluencer, what are the 3 tax-saving hacks that you would like to share with our viewers?
3 tax-saving hacks. First thing, do tax harvesting for your long-term financial assets. Basically, where the long-term financial assets are there and the long-term gains on these assets are exempt up to rupees 1.25 lakhs every year. So you can book the gains up to 1.25 lakhs and not have taxes on it. Point number 2, hold your investments till maturity if they are tax-free on maturity. Classic example, sovereign gold bonds. You hold it for 8 years. On maturity, whatever the proceeds you get are tax-free. There's no capital gains. There is an option to redeem it from after the 5th year onwards, but that will attract taxes. So after the 5th year also, if there is a requirement of money, pledge the SGB rather than sell it. Hold it till 8 years and then you'll have it tax-free. Point number 3, go for EEE, exempt investments, not entertainment. So wherein when you invest, that investment is tax deductible. Any income earned on that investment is tax-free. And the maturity proceeds are also tax-free. If you're opting for new tax regime, definitely the deductions are not there, but the income earned is tax-free and the maturity proceeds are tax-free. Classic example, PPF. You can go for that. And just for you, I'll give a 4th bonus. This is not basically tax saving, but for people who have no knowledge of stock markets, but still want to enter stock markets, one of the ways is through NPS, that is National Pension Scheme, wherein you are indirectly investing in the equity markets.
Thank you so much for that, for the bonus tip specifically. And I think this has been a wonderful conversation, Pratiksha. It's so good to know the many things that you're doing, not just, talking about financial things, doing, of course, other than your CA part of it. In addition, you're sharing this knowledge and you're doing so many things for startups and for, for students to learn easily and for homemakers and for women like us to learn more about the finance. I think that's an amazing thought process behind everything that you do. And lastly, I think we'll leave the link to your YouTube channel and your Instagram in the description.
Sure,
because I'm
sure.
sure there are a lot of people who would like to get in touch with you and know more about.
Yeah, and actually, when I look at the statistics of my Instagram channel also, when I go for the gender-wise statistics, it's more of women.
Yeah, that's really nice, actually. So thank you. Thank you so much.